Okay, last time we did Safe Harbor, and to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised at how many comments I got on that video. And I mean, I guess this is a good time to say I appreciate all comments, whether it's feedback, advice, just you want to say something fun. I always appreciate it. It's always fun to read later on, even if I don't notice it right away. I do eventually read every comment. And I do actually sometimes learn things. I had no idea that evacuate the shelter completion guarantees 4 survivors. I literally never knew that. And that's kind of funny. So I guess now I know. Anyways, we're on to Foo Floater. Investigate the unidentified craft. Complete a retrieve data mission in a power 40 plus zone.
Commander, we've got an unidentified craft in our airspace. It looks like a research balloon, but it's completely unresponsive. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with.
All right, that's our dialogue from last time. I think in the previous episode I had the game audio like set to way too low, so it hardly actually was getting picked up on recording. Daily quests, I always check these, but I don't doesn't mean I'm going to do them. They'll happen eventually by accident. And I mean, we've done retrieve the data so many times already. It's one of the the very common missions that you play in Save the World, so that's good, I guess. And easy modifiers, nothing crazy. That's not what I meant to press. What is my actually? Let's get research real quick. Let's put these two to 44, and then I guess let's get tech and then offense. So 44, 45, 44, 45.
You know how we're always coming up with gadgets to outsmart the storm?
Right.
Well, that started
Plankerton
an arms
or
race.
Autumn Foothill Zone,
Rumors
not
we've been
great
hearing about an
sometimes.
even more dangerous
Sometimes the
part of the
terrain's a bit
storm.
weird to work with,
The
but
closest
should be
storm that
fine.
closes in on you, eventually swallowing you alive. Remember
Oh,
how I said that would never, ever happen here? It's happening here. We need to retrieve the data as usual, but this time we need to watch the storm. Exposure to the storm will hurt you.
I don't remember why I don't have a lot of wood.
You'll take
I'm sure
damage
there's a
from
logical
the storm,
explanation
so
for it.
keep an eye on
Okay, so retrieve the data. The easiest way you can usually find the objective is to just look up in the sky and find this balloon. We've gone over that like a dozen times. Otherwise, if you have a storm closing in, it's going to be usually whichever corner is not closing into. So in my case, it is exactly in this direction. Okay, so modifiers, we have wall weakening, uncharted enemies, which means they don't show up on the minimap, and lightning storms. We have nature enemies. Because of that, we want to build in brick. I don't think it'll matter that much at this level, but I don't know, for simplicity, I'm just gonna build in brick anyways. If I build in metal, nature enemies will deal more damage to metal, and usually that is not counteracted by just the increased health that metal has over brick or wood. Yes, when I said random junk, I was also talking about these enemies. Guess we may as well get these because I do need the wood. These are for some other quests that I'm not really actively doing right now. I realize now that that didn't really do anything. I think I'm gonna be too lazy to build like actual trap tunnels, so I might just do something different today. And even though I talked about using brick instead of metal because I have nature enemies, I'm going to use metal for floors and roofs just because I can. Enemies are coming from like a more diagonal angle, which is going to make my build actually very, very counteractive or counterproductive, rather. So let's actually rethink that entire idea right now on the spot. I mean, it can still work, but I don't know. So I'm going to just play it safe and not do with my original idea because it might not work. Actually, hold on. I can make this work. And let's get 12 dynamos. Okay, well, this is not going to account for any chance of them rotating spawns or changing directions. I had to place my base like that because I think I don't have the key. I don't even think I have a keybind set for the trap wheel anymore. I don't know how that happened. I will figure that out sometime after recording this and then probably have that fixed for next episode. I have no idea. Okay, that's probably good for now.
The only way we're going to retrieve all of the data is to shoot the balloon down as soon as
Also,
possible.
fun fact,
So
if you
get in
actually
that
wait
balloon,
for the balloon to
download our
land
data,
naturally,
and get ready
you
to
only have
rock.
to defend for a total of 11 files
The balloon
instead of all 16,
send that data.
which can help if you need the defense to be a bit shorter. I do that sometimes. Can I get up here? Yes, I can. And now the idea with this build that I've just created here on off the top of my head is that I want enemies to, because of this diagonal angle and the fact that I don't really want to build trap tunnels for this, what I want instead is for enemies to walk just into. I want them to walk directly to the walls. However, the traps are just going to kill them before they do this. This probably won't be nearly as effective in higher level zones, but this is it's fairly effective here. Well, I'd say very effective since most enemies are not surviving very long. Could you not? As you get to higher level zones, enemies will kind of become stronger. They're able to withstand more hits. They kind of just become bullet sponges in a way. So it's like, so a strategy that works right now might not always work, which is actually one of the fun parts about this game too. Kind of as you progress, you have to learn and adapt. You have to get better at a lot of things. Oh, I do have a trap wheel button. I think it's different on my main account than on here.
Another file.
Wow. Really sneaking around who knows where to try to get an angle on me. I'll just shoot his toes. Well, he doesn't even have toes. So now it appears that enemies are actually spawning over here, which means that all I'm really going to do is that for now. And I'm going to place that walled animal right there for enemies like this one that are not going to get very affected by that. Actually, I got a different strategy. I'm just going to grab a couple of wall darts. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, do you mind? Let's not hit those walls. Actually, you know what? Let's just open it up. Both sides are actually capable of being defended now. And for once, my fire grenade launcher will actually come in pretty handy because I have nature enemies. So that's probably really good. I mostly just didn't want to build a ton of anything really. Like, based on this diagonal angle that the enemies are kind of coming from, it usually would make building a trap tunnel a bit challenging, and building a lot of block off for it would also become kind of expensive and tough. So I decided to kind of just not do that, by instead buildings for them to just actually come straight to the defense, or to the walls of the data rather. So all I really have to do in this case is, because I don't really have the offensive damage of attacking them from like close after they leave their spawn, is just kind of make sure they don't break the walls. When you build like this, some of your main enemies or some of the main enemies you should actually kind of keep your eyes on are propane, lobbers, flingers, smashers, mini bosses. But in my case, I don't even have a mini boss in this mission, and I haven't really seen propane. I mean, an awful lot of gunslingers, which I don't like, but oh well. I think I'd prefer that over just having a ton of propane, to be honest. Did the wall dart there break? I mean, it must have. I can't imagine my durability on these is very high. 37. Oh yeah, healing nurse husks like this one can also be a bit of a annoyance when you build like this, because they can kind of prevent enemies from actually dying, if they're able to out heal the traps at least. Seeing a lot of lobbers out here, and I just want to get rid of them. Looks like that healing nurse is actually out healing them, which I didn't expect, to be honest, but I probably should have expected, considering my trap durability isn't holding in. Okay, I am hearing nothing but lobbers in my left ear only. Okay. I mean, that's dealt with. Not bad. Just not. I mean, didn't get any damage, I don't think. So I'll consider that alone to be a win. And you know, that wasn't even that hard. 5,800 combat, 2,300 building. Gained copper terminator. Fantastic. Okay, mission rewards, level 4 loot with 90 gold and, of course, a lot of Battle Pass XP, because why wouldn't there be a ton of Battle Pass XP?
There's nothing unusual about the files we collected. Oh, but that's interesting.
Okay, are you not going to elaborate on what was interesting? Killer storms with 100 gold, that's repeatable. And the alert rewards with some lightning in a bottle, amp up tickets.
All location data was scrubbed from the balloon's drives. Whoever launched that balloon really doesn't want to be found. Well, let's not jump to conclusions. Just because someone is doing advanced anonymous science, it doesn't mean it's Dr. Vinderman. So let's just calmly and immediately track down the location of the balloon.
Okay, yeah, we can do that calmly and immediately. Okay, well, I could buy a bundle bus. That seems like a great idea. I actually might want that. So I'll buy that now. I have 384 gold left, in which I can use on absolutely nothing. Okay, I guess next time we're doing Rogue Balloon, which is just building radar towers. But we're still, like I said, way before, and I think actually last episode, the one before that, we're getting closer to the end of Plankerton.